New DLC, new units to learn. Let's take a look at the new regional infantry unit, the Champi Warrior. The Mapuche, Muisca, Tupi, and Inca all have access to the unit, and they each have at least one bonus for them. This means that there is no baseline generic fully upgraded Champi in the game, so each civ will have a slightly different flavor. Let's start at the start and see what kind of unit this is. In Dark Age, Champi Scouts are similar to Eagle Scouts in that they move at the same speed and have the same line of sight. Champis are much weaker in combat though, since they only have 35 HP compared to an Eagle's 50. In Dark Age, Champis lose versus Eagles and have a 50-50 chance of winning versus Scout Cavalry. Since Scout Cavalry outspeed Champis, even scouting in Dark Age will be dangerous with this unit. If we look at the tech tree, we can see that the Champi line replaces the Militia line, and as is the case with Incas, also replaces the Eagle line. This is probably due to the fact that the unit is pretty much a Swordsman-Eagle hybrid, without the bad traits of both. Champis don't have the Shock Infantry class, so they don't take bonus damage from the Swordsman line, and their high Pierce armor makes them quite strong against archers. In this regard, they are similar to the Huskarl from Goths, though the Champi is not quite as good against archers. They still are much better than the Swordsman line against archers, though. Like Militia, Champi Scouts can be trained in the Dark Age. They cost 45 food, 25 gold, and take 30 seconds to train. They don't get any stat increase by age up, so if you don't play towards the Champi line, your scouting unit is fairly weak in Feudal Age, and will probably get picked off by an enemy scout cavalry if you're not careful. If you do upgrade to Champi Runner, you'll be able to hit a very strong timing though, since your units are faster than men-at-arms, archers, and villagers. Basically, you're only slower than Scout Cavalry. Since Champi Runners also have 2 Pierce armor, archers will not threaten you immediately. You should be able to run around pretty much forever with this unit, and against scouts, just add some spearmen or archers. Oh, and did I mention that since it's a DLC unit, of course there's a crazy gimmick as well? This unit line can build outposts. How crazy is that? You can easily place outposts around your opponent's base while scouting initially, and they won't be able to effectively take them down until around mid-Feudal Age, which means you'll have a very good idea if your opponent is walling or going scouts or archers or whatever. Placing outposts can also be used to save your Champis from the enemy scout by quick walling, but it'll probably be used often in a more cheesy way. By placing an outpost, you can block enemy units from moving, allowing you to trap enemies in ways we've never seen before. Since the Champi moves so fast, I'm calling it now, this will lead to absolutely degenerate gameplay. So, let's recap and go a bit deeper. It can be created in Dark Age like a militia, but costs 5 less food and 5 more gold. This is actually easier to afford in the early game. They also train in 30 seconds, which is slower than the militia's 21 seconds, but this unit really is closer to an Eagle Scout, which train in 50 seconds in Feudal Age, so training in only 30 seconds is very fast for what you get. In terms of stats, they match the militia's 4 attack while having 5 less HP at 35, but the extra movement speed really makes up for it here. The ability to build outposts from Dark Age is also huge. They also have +1 damage versus shock infantry, so they can fight Eagle Scouts slightly better. For Feudal Age, the Champi Runner is upgraded for 100 food, 60 gold, which is 20 more gold than Men-at-Arms. Both upgrades take 40 seconds though. This is where things get a bit tricky, since each civ has a bonus that's relevant in Feudal Age. The Mapuche get 5 HP per age from Feudal. Muisca get +1 melee armor per age from Feudal, and can heal near settlements. And Tupi have their Champi Runner tech's food cost reduced to 50 food, just like Dravidians, and their fallen units return 15% of their cost. Even Inca have their Champi's food cost discounted. So, all Champi civs have some kind of bonus for them, so they're always quite strong. The base stats for the Champi Runner are 40 HP, 5 attack, 0 melee armor, 2 pierce armor, +1 versus shock infantry, +1 versus standard buildings, and +2 versus siege weapons. Moving to the Castle Age, they gain a whopping 4 attack to 9, an extra pierce armor, 15 HP, and another bonus damage against standard building and siege. In terms of bonuses, Mapuche get another 5 HP, Muisca get another melee armor, and access to their Castle Age unique tech, Herbalism, which increases movement speed by 15%, Tupi still get the Champi warrior upgrade's food cost reduced, as well as access to caciques, which makes Champi attack 25% faster, and Inca's discount is increased to 15% off the food cost. Going into Imperial Age, the elite Champi warrior gets another 10 HP, 2 attack, and 1 pierce armor. Mapuche and Muisca still get their additional HP and armor, and Tupi still have the cost of the upgrade heavily reduced. Inca's fabric shields gives +1 melee and pierce armor to Champies. In terms of blacksmith techs, all 4 civs have the final armor, while Mapuche and Inca both have blast furnace, and Muisca and Tupi max out at iron casting. Okay, that was a bit of an info dump. Let's take a look at some imp battles to see how they fare. I'll mostly just let the footage speak for itself, but my verdict is that Champi will dominate archers like eagles, fight champions like two-handed swordsmen, and fight cavalry like champions. So, you can kind of take fights against infantry, especially using mobility to force a good engagement. You only have to outnumber champs just barely, and taking a fight using mobility on a hill will already make you come out ahead, even with even numbers. Versus archers, you don't have to think so much, just send them in and they'll do the job. Cavalry is the main issue. Well, not really too much though. As the Mapuche, which have 15 extra HP, elite Champi warriors fight fully upgraded Cavalier cost effectively. They still lose to Paladin though. Cavalry is definitely this unit's weak point, but it's not so bad. I really feel like this unit is like an Eagle Warrior if the swordsman line didn't exist to counter them. Civs without good cavalry or a unique counter to Champies will struggle a lot. Anyways, all of this info is from the creator preview, which is subject to change before the release of The Last Chieftains DLC on February 17th. Are you guys excited to play the Champi meta? It will be like Men-at-Arms but stronger, which will lead to some very aggressive games. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.